A group of armed people ambushed a young boy in the middle of the woods. They underestimated him because he used tree branch archery, but he managed to kill all 5 of them. The boy then cleared out all his belongings, not leaving anything behind. He murmured to himself, saying that things were different from what Darien had told him. The human world is so boring for him. A meeting was held, and the people are discussing the Demon King's traces that will possibly be left in the Forest of Roots. They were sure any living organism with demonic energy wouldn't be able to get past the barrier, so nothing would matter. The forest itself is covered in demonic energy, so it becomes a problem when they can't use such a huge piece of land. Someone suggested that if no one can come back safe, they should send in people who must die in the forest. It will be the best way to get rid of people they have trouble dealing with. One night, a mother was begging so that her child wouldn't be taken away. The people who took the baby claimed that a seed of darkness had sprouted within it. They did a ritual for the baby named Helmet. Root is a place of exile that no one has ever come back alive from. The criminals coming from any group would be dropped somewhere in the forest using divine magic, like they did to Helmet. But if they do manage to make it out alive, their sins will be forgiven. The existence of a baby, born with the seed of darkness, became a sin in and of itself. He was dropped into the demonic place, from which no one had returned alive. The forest was filled with demonic energy. Coldness and hunger treated the child harshly, but the energy from the seed that was embedded in the child's heart surged out of him and covered him. 10 days passed, and the child survived tenaciously. Instead of preying on him, the leopards took care of him, and since that day, the child's fate had been decided. 10 years later, he grew into an active boy. He hunts rabbits for his source of food. The leopard named Alaga showed him the rabbit's core, which is possessed by all demonic beasts. They grow stronger if they eat it, and it also supplements them with life energy and increases their lifespan. Helmet wanted to eat it, but the leopard said that he could become a demonic beast and live in the forest forever once he ate it. According to an old, strong human Elige met, there is a chance for humans to get out, so he told Helmet that he can get out. Hearing that, Helmet was excited to meet another human being and ran towards the place mentioned by Alaga. Helmet finally found a hut that can only be made by humans. Someone suddenly attacked him, pushing his head down onto the ground. Helmet told the old man, who attacked him, that Alaga told him about another human's presence in that forest. The man asked his intention, and Helmet said that he just wanted to get out of that forest. The man introduced himself as Darien. Helmet asked him how to get out of that forest. The man said that the outside world is not as beautiful or peaceful as he might think it is. The humans don't have sharp claws or fangs and have weak bodies. However, they are more cruel and cunning. They tend to join forces and betray each other when needed. People who were born with the seed of darkness, like Helmet, were usually killed as soon as they were born. Darien expected Helmet to come from a high point because he had been spared. Darien has a debt to repay to Alaga, so he told Helmet that as long as the seed of darkness is in his body, he will always be chased, even if he does not get out of this forest. He could also get killed fighting humans, so would Helmet still want to escape the forest? Helmet was persistent, so Darien decided to make the little boy a human. The first thing he needs to do to get out is get through the forest's barrier. Helmet needs to get stronger first, and after that, he needs to go see someone who knows how to get through it. Helmet was told to live in the hut and do human chores, and Darien also gave him clothes to wear. Darien will also teach him what the boy can and cannot eat, as well as how to cook. The root organisms all have a core, and even if they remove it, the demonic energy still remains. However, there is one thing that doesn't have demonic energy, and that's water. They can remove the core and purify the organism of its remaining demonic energy with the water. Helmet realizes now that even plants are edible. Helmet was told to do all sorts of chores, like bring water for days. He met Alaga along the way. They talked about the boy's plan to leave the forest. Alaga was saddened by it. Darien also makes Helmet do some exercises. He fed him cooked food after the boy got exhausted by the exercises. Helmet finds it delicious. Darien told him that there are limits to a human body, and that's why he's thinking of teaching him the way of the sword starting tomorrow. Darien showed Helmet what a sword is and told him to watch closely. The old man swung the piece of wood, and it looks like it's shining in Helmet's eyes. Darien began swinging the wood around, cracking the hard ground. That's how humans survive, according to Darien. Humans have an invisible source of power called Vis. Helmet was excited to learn it, but Darien told him that his body isn't prepared to hold Vis yet. The boy needs to understand the sword first. It will be difficult, miserable, and painful, but he must keep up without collapsing, and the sword will reward him for it. For days, Helmet was learning his body structure, and he complained about it. Darien asked him to address him properly, so he called him Sir. Darien told the boy that having a proper form isn't everything, so he needs to understand what's not explained by Darien. Darien found Helmet strange because, even though he has no appreciation for learning, he still grows faster than expected. The seed of darkness influences humans and makes them more prone to violence. On top of that, he grew up with the demonic beasts. Darien suddenly hit the boy twice and said that he had grown weaker. Helmet was asked to explain the difference. He thinks that the amount of pain was different, and the speed and places Darien hit were also different. Even though the movement was the same, Darien explained that simply imitating the outer appearance is not enough. The minuscule differences in his muscles, the tremors at his fingertips, the movement that follows speed and flow, and his understanding of mind and sword must come under his control. That way, he will truly understand the sword. Darien said that resting is also part of training, but Helmet finds it boring. He finally met Alaga, and according to the leopard, he had grown a bit. Alaga is the master of the Forest of Roots Central Territory, so Alaga allows Darien to live there. Alaga also saved him from the two-headed snake, Nahu. According to Alaga, Darien's strength was not known because humans can easily hide it. They don't know who's stronger between Alaga and Darien. The reason why Nahu hates Darien is because he destroyed the area that Nahu had built up as a human farm. Helmet was startled to see the human farm. People were forced to work, and there are also female humans, which Helmet has never seen before. The female humans were like food for Nahu. The snake prefers female humans because their meat is tender, and they don't have much muscle. But the small female humans are spared until they're big enough to be eaten. The males will be made slaves for life to maintain the space. The ones who maintain the farm are humans, and among them there's a leader named Erugo. He gathered people who were dropped in the forest. If Alaga hadn't saved him, Helmet would also be one of the slaves. They were about to go back when Nahu suddenly appeared before them. He wasn't doing anything, but Helmet felt great pressure due to his presence. Nahu was interested in Helmet as he sensed that the boy was somehow related to Darien. It has only been a few years since he destroyed his farm, so the snake is wary of Darien. Alaga told Nahu that Helmet just stole his clothes to wear. Alaga also warned him not to do anything to the boy, or the leopard would rip him to shreds. Nahu told them to go away from his territory, and Helmet fainted. The leopard reminded the boy that he should not travel alone, starting now that Nahu has seen him. Helmet started to wonder whether he could grow as strong as Alaga or Darien. Alasia admitted that Darien is at a level that most normal humans would not be able to reach. Alaga told Helmet to do his best if he wanted to get out of that forest. Helmet went with Darien. Alaga went home and promised to watch over them. One night, Helmet's stomach hurt so much he could not sleep. He was told to eat poisonous herbs before bed to help suppress the seed of darkness's power. While Helmet was in pain, Darien stood under the moon, murmuring something about a certain 4 years. As he continued to swing the sword through the trees, Helmet grew to enjoy it. His body feels light, and his vision seems clearer. It could be the demonic soil's effect. After months of consuming the herbs, it doesn't hurt anymore and feels refreshing. Darien reminded Helmet about Vis. They can't see the power, but if their body and its application aren't up to the basic level, training in Vis is pointless. Helmet's body seems ready to train in Vis now, so Darien will teach him how to train in Vis. Darien taught Helmet to melt the energy in the atmosphere into his body and control it freely to materialize it through his sword. That's how they control Vis. Helmet took the sword while absorbing nature's energy into him. Darien told him to think simply and move with composure while they spar so he wouldn't lose the flow. Darien attacked him one after another, and Helmet lost his composure so quickly. Darien told him to utilize his senses and take in more energy so he could feel the power. He wasn't perfect from the beginning, but it's okay since they're going to continue training like that from now on. Helmet managed to show Darien the will to train every day. 4 years later, after training, Helmet was able to cut down trees with such ease. Darien asked him to show him his Vis. Even though Darien said that he's still lacking, Helmet actually shows incredible growth at such a young age to be able to manifest Vis. Darien knew that the child would surely flip the world on its head, whether for good or evil. Darien feels like it's time to let Helmet go. Darien told Helmet that it was time for the boy to leave the forest. If his seed of darkness grows any more than this, he won't be able to pass through the divine barrier, so now is the only time. The human world lies beyond the southern edge of the Forest of Roots. Helmet has to pass through the divine barrier to get there. There is a certain area where it's weak, so in theory, he can pass through there to get to the human world. A human who can handle the weakened barrier should theoretically be able to pass. Darien himself hasn't found it, but someone else has. It is Erigo who handles the humans in Naho's village. After escaping the forest, Helmet will experience countless things in the human world. Darien assured him that for someone who has only lived in the forest, Helmet may find the outside world exciting and entertaining. Darien also reminded him that tragedy is not something he can stop just by having his guard up. It can't be avoided, so when the time comes, he will feel powerless, but he can't lose himself that way. Darien has no intention of coming with Helmet. He plans to take a nap and spend some time alone after being alone for so long. Tomorrow is the day he can finally leave the forest, but Elijah discovers Helmet is unhappy. He felt complicated, but according to the leopard, it's proof that he slowly became a human. In the morning, Helmet came to take his present from Darien. It was a sword and a bag. Darien's lifespan has already come to an end, and Helmet promised to remember him. He had told Eliba about it, so the leopard was not surprised. Elijah gave back the things Helmet wore when he got into the forest. It is a rare metal pendant made of pure gold that says, "Let there be light on your oath, Margaret Irene." Helmet needs to go to the human farm first. Alaga offered to help, but Helmet said he could manage it himself. They bid goodbye to each other. Helmet moved in the darkness and managed to hold Erugo hostage. Black magic is an evil power that can make even a seemingly weak mage strong. Among the numerous mages, there are people who will cross boundaries that they aren't meant to in order to gain stronger magic and power. Erugo was a mage who was always envious and jealous of others. He dreamed of becoming the strongest, but he chose the path of black magic because he felt that he wasn't talented enough. For his purposes, the dark emotions of humans were needed. Via activities like human trafficking and kidnapping, he was able to easily get the necessary materials. Erugo became more evil and powerful, as a result of the suffering and fear that emanated from his materials. However, because of a certain mage's pursuit, his atrocities were exposed to the world. He was captured and sentenced to death or exile. In order to avoid being executed right away, he chose the Forest of Roots. Eventually, he met the two-faced snake there. He was granted a portion of the snake's territory in exchange for his submission and sacrifices. Erugo used magic to assemble all of the humans who had been exiled to the forest. They had no choice but to submit in order to avoid being slaughtered by demonic beasts right away. And that's how the human farm was made. Erugo became the king of the farm, while other humans were treated like mere livestock. The true master of the territory, Nahu, never interfered with Erugo's work as long as he offered sacrifices. Thus, while serving Nahu, Erugo started to fulfill his ambitions once again. However, every winter, he couldn't help but be nervous as well. Because whenever Nahu went into hibernation, the demonic beasts in the area would attack the farm every day. Even in such an insignificant crisis, he had some form of satisfaction with his new life. With Helmet's sword around his neck, it is another winter crisis for Erugo. The boy asked him how to get out of the Forest of Roots. Erugo knew that he was Darien's disciple. He initially refused to tell him, but Helmet threatened to seize any recordings he had because mage are apparently obsessed with it. So Erugo is willing to comply. The method Erugo found is theoretical, so no one has ever tried it or even had the ability to try it. Darien could possibly do it, and Erugo figured that he must be dead since he's not there either. Erugo offered Helmet to be his successor and live there, but Helmet doesn't want anything from him. The boy asked him to just hand over the book he discovered in a mage's hideout before. The mage had talent in stealth magic. Unfortunately, he couldn't escape. Based on that book, there is a huge waterfall at the southern end of the forest. The water and demonic energy weaken the divine power at the same time. Helmet must be able to get past the barrier if he throws himself in there. The divine barrier is on the highest level, so anyone even with a little bit of demonic energy will turn into ashes. Erugo was spared, but Helmet tied him up and told him not to do bad things. Erugo woke Naho up from his deep sleep. He told them about Darien's death, and that the disciple was there. Naho decided to go after the boy to get rid of him. Seeing all the demonic beasts running away, Helmet knew that he was in great danger. He should have killed Erugo earlier. He ran like crazy, but he wasn't able to make it out of his territory. The whole place is engulfed by demonic energy. Naho appeared before him and greeted Helmet. The boy was told that he was a long-awaited guest for the snake. Helmet decided that he would leave after killing Naho. The snake underestimated Helmet and was about to eat him, but Helmet managed to dodge his attack. Their surroundings became dusty, and suddenly the snake was already circling Helmet. Helmet knew that his opponent was strong, so he had to look for opportunities to attack. Regardless of how strong his demonic energy is, there will be a spot where his vis can penetrate, and that is in his eye. The snake grunted in pain as Helmet struck his eye. Helmet was able to buy himself some time. It'd be great if he could defeat him, but that's the best he can do at his current skill level. He used up too much vis for that attack, so he'll die if he keeps fighting. Helmet needs to escape fast, but the snake was appalled. The snake got rid of its head, whose eye was useless. Helmet managed to hide after getting hit by the snake's attack. It will be harder for the snake to see now because of his lost head. Helmet managed to buy some time to hurry and escape, but the snake found him and was about to eat him alive. Suddenly, Alaga came to rescue Helmet. The demonic energy Helmet sensed was from Alaga. Alaga asked him to go and leave the rest to the leopard. Helmet was about to refuse, but Alaga reminded him to go and find his freedom. Helmet thanked the leopard for everything and left the place. Naho was mad that the leopard dared to stop him in his own territory, so now they have to fight against each other. Helmet has been running for days since he passed Alaga's territory. He was able to defeat any demonic beast that wasn't on the same level as Naho. He realized that he wouldn't be able to survive in that place if he hadn't met Alaga and Darien. He only has one chance now, and he must get out of that forest for Alaga and Darien's efforts to not be wasted. The place he's in right now is different from Alaga's territory. He almost can't feel any demonic energy, and the seed of darkness is also irritated. It could be reacting to the divine barrier. Helmet had covered it with a hood, so he was not in trouble. Along the way, he found a feather. It belongs to a demonic beast bird named Wygriel, the ruler of the south, and Helmet is in his territory now. The boy didn't expect that there was a demonic beast so close to the divine barrier. Alaga had said that Wygriel's curiosity is extremely strong. The beast could sense Naho's blood and Alaga's scent on Helmet. Helmet told the beast that he's Alaga's kin, but he's not there on Alaga's order. Helmet said that he has his own reasons that could be meaningful for Wygriel as well. He's going to be the first human to cross the barrier and make it out of the forest of roots. Wygriel laughed at the seemingly weak human because Helmet still has seeds of darkness in him. Helmet still desired to be the first human to attempt to flee. But Wygriel does not want to risk burning a prey. Helmet warned that the beast can always find humans dropped there, but the only person who'll try to escape is him. Wygriel was eager to see him try. If Helmet succeeds, Wygriel will be the first demonic beast to witness it. Wygriel will protect him with power until Helmet reaches the barrier. No matter what the result is, Helmet wanted Wygriel to tell Alaga that he survived and made it out of the forest, and Wygriel agreed. Helmet ran towards the barrier and kept on moving forward underwater. Divinity is the power of purification that protects humans and rejects impurity. That power is penetrating through Helmet as he tries to go past the barrier. He has never felt pain like that before, and he can't maintain his consciousness. To demonic beasts he's a human, but to humans he has turned into a demonic beast. He wonders where exactly he's supposed to go. A group of people were lurking near the forest of roots. They're resting after a long trip. One of the members named Finn was told to get water, and he found Helmet passed out. Finn told his acquaintances that there was a dead body in the ravine, but no one believed him. Finn leads the way to where Helmet was. They finally see Helmet, and one of them realizes he's not dead yet. Helmet started to wake up. They told him that he's safe now, but Helmet told them that he does not remember anything except his name. Among the people is Tanya, a rank 3 silver medal mercenary of the Pace Mercenary Corps. They informed Helmet that he was now in the Decay Forest. Helmet told them that he knows how to wield a sword. Tanya told him that he'd be responsible for Helmet now, and the boy thanked him. Helmet barely survived, and it's going to take some time for him to recover. He's now in a worse state than when he first started training. The seed of darkness is still within him. Maybe that's why he's not dead yet. But since he's now in the world of humans, he can't let them find out that he has the seed of darkness. That's why he pretended to have lost his memory. He also needs to find the owner of the pendant he has. Slowly but surely, everyone was surprised to see Helmet become different after washing up. He looks like a noble. He's treated as a newbie in their mercenary corps. They'll be at a village in 4 days, so Helmet can see a doctor then. Soon they'll be leaving. The mercenary corps members are still fascinated by Helmet's stamina, and looking at him, they wonder if he was a noble. Finn also finds the way Helmet speaks pretty odd. Helmet looked exhausted, but he still refused to get on the carriage. Helmet also finds it weird that he gets tired easily, unlike when he was in the forest. The doctor said that there wasn't anything wrong with him. Helmet has a sturdy constitution, so he can recover quickly. Tanya doubted the doctor and asked him to diagnose the boy properly, offending the doctor. The doctor also said that his memories will probably return sooner or later because there's nothing wrong with Helmet's head. He told them to take the medicine and go. Tanya was so angry at the doctor. Tanya asked Helmet whether he was really okay. He told her that he feels fine now after taking the medicine and resting at the inn. Tanya asked Helmet about his sword ability and proposed a duel with him. It may loosen up his body, and he may get his memories back. Considering Tanya is a rank 3 silver medal mercenary, and a person of that caliber is apparently quite respected in the human world, Helmet agreed to it. They went to a place where the mercenary corps members train their physical abilities. Some were mocking Helmet for having a duel with Tanya, saying that he would hurt his face, but Tanya punched their faces instead. The rule is that they go until one of them falls to the ground. Tanya told Helmet that he can come to her with everything he has. She's the vice captain of the mercenary corps, so he should be wary. Helmet is still not at his best, and he can't use Vis either. So rather than confronting her with sheer strength, he will have to fight while redirecting her attacks. Helmet attacked her left waist, but Tanya managed to parry it easily. He concluded that she was above him in strength. When it was time for Tanya to attack, Helmet couldn't follow the dodging movements he had planned. It felt like he was underwater. Helmet was frustrated that he lost against Tanya. The girl had incomparably more openings compared to Darien, but her swordsmanship is not very efficient either. When someone approached Helmet, he was rethinking the human world that Darien had told him about. The guy said that Tanya is a distinguished fighter, even in their mercenary corps. It's normal that Helmet lost, but some were even surprised at how good he is. When he tried to penetrate her defenses earlier, he could have succeeded if he had a bit more strength. The guy is Fion, the captain of the Pace Mercenary Corps and a rank 2 gold medal mercenary. Fion congratulated Helmet for passing the entrance exam. He offered to take Helmet with them as a member of the Mercenary Corps. It's a team that no one can join, which is why people kept an eye on Helmet as he approached town. Tanya is Fion's sister. Since Helmet didn't cause any trouble, everyone agreed to let him in. Helmet is given a temporary rank 4 mercenary certificate to register himself in the Mercenary Guild. Now that Helmet is officially a comrade, everyone greets him. There are Byrne, Yuta, and Maros. Fion said that Helmet is free to leave the corps whenever he likes, but he has to stay with them when they request him to. Helmet still has a hard time trusting, but it's better for now to stay there than to wander aimlessly. He also wants to know what it means to be comrades. The corps is discussing letting Helmet join an important mission, but Sir Miles thinks a 4-rank mercenary cannot participate in it. Fion assured him that Helmet would be useful. The man agreed as long as they accepted responsibility for their words. Since they don't tell him that the corps will be adding a member in advance, Sir Miles will only pay a third of the price for Helmet. The Tariq Mercenary Corps will also be joining them. The request they will be taking tomorrow is a large-scale escort request. Even if they get ambushed, rank 4s don't need to fight unless it's an urgent situation. They're not sure about what or who they'll be escorting, so it's hard to predict the strength of the ambushes. Helmet was told that if the Tariq Corps tries to pick a fight with him, he needs to ignore them. They don't have a good relationship because the Mercenary Corps have a good reputation. Helmet was angry. He doesn't want to use his not fully recovered condition as an excuse. There were many openings during the duel, but he wasn't able to stab faster than Tanya. He is currently weak and he needs to get back into shape, just like the first time he trained. The request has begun and they were promised a lot of money. They have to work and return safely. Finn was teasing Helmet for being a weakling, but he wasn't amused. Sir Miles welcomed the corps. They were given items that they will be guarding. The Pace Mercenary Corps will take the rear. The other guys were from the Tariq Mercenary Corps. One of them was mocking from the other side. Helmet wondered whether he was the leader, so he should keep an eye on him until the request is over. A few days later, the Tariq members keep on bullying Finn. They had noticed how Helmet had been ignoring him from the beginning. The bully was also a rank 4 who dropped from rank 3 because he got into trouble. His second-ranking brother was in command of him. Helmet has irritated the bully and he intends to punish him. It has barely been 3 days and Finn is angry that the Tariq members keep harassing him without pause. The name of the main bully is Caleb and Finn doesn't know that the guy has been dropped to rank 3, which is why he felt unfair. Everyone is starting to get nervous and the bullying doesn't help at all. Finn kept on complaining as he went to get the water before going to sleep. It will be hard to sleep once they get to the area where demonic beasts appear. Tariq mercenary corps members approached Finn, who was getting the water, and asked to speak with him. In reality, they just beat him and teased him about Helmet's gender. Helmet was then brought there as well. Helmet started comparing how humans are the same as demonic beasts when they fight for a higher hierarchy. Helmet put all his effort into recovering, but he still can't use Vis. He knew the guys he'd be up against would be weaker than Tanya, so he'd play defense and attack the weak one first. If he can't hold out against them, he will use Darien swordsmanship. The bully wanted to grab Helmet and strip him, but Tanya came to his rescue. She asked why the Tariq Corps was bothering her comrades. The bully acted like they didn't do anything wrong, so Tanya got angry. She told Helmet to take Finn back, and Caleb told his fellow 4 rank to leave him. Tanya taunted him for being a 4th rank now, and he was offended. She also warned them not to bother any of her members again. Finn was crying on the way home. Tanya saved them despite the fact that it is an unwritten rule not to interfere in fights between rank 4s. Helmet continues to practice at night to get back in shape. He is fine now, but he still can't use Vis. Vis, according to Darien, is like water, and the body is the vessel that holds it. There's no point in training if the body isn't up to basic standard. Everyone noticed that the demonic beast frequently appeared in the region they're in now. They are told not to do individual activities without company. Helmet can't train alone, so he just prays that Vis returns before the seed of darkness starts going rampant. Finn has a bizarre imagination about demonic beasts. Helmet stated that he believes some beasts are frightening, but others are not. 2 guys in that mission were getting water when a demonic beast suddenly appeared before them and killed one of them. Other mercenaries were shocked to see a horrible demonic beast come out of nowhere. The other guy tried to attack, but he was killed as well. Finn didn't expect that it would come so fearlessly when there were so many mercenaries around. The beast suggested to his friends that they come out as well. Antonia noticed it. She told everybody to get ready, but Finn and Helmet were told not to get involved and to hide under the carriage instead. Helmet was frustrated that he couldn't use his Vis yet. He was aware of the presence of additional demonic beasts. The one they're facing is not as strong as Alaga or Niho, but it's still strong. Using his Vis, Finn led the mercenaries to attack the large demonic beast. The small ones are coming to the other mercenaries, but the 3 ranks easily defeat them. Finn and Max cut it down as soon as they saw the opening. Helmet was amazed by them because they were stronger than he thought. The rank 2 mercenaries who know how to use Vis are keeping the leader busy while the rest do what they need to do in their own way. The small ones are all defeated and Finn can defeat one more using his Vis. Unfortunately, the remaining beast ran away. They decide against pursuing it and instead examine the injured. Helmet watches how they collect the demonic beast's corpses. Things like demonic skin and the seed of darkness can be sold for a high price. Morrow showed Helmet the seed of darkness he found in their corpses. Based on what they know, the seed will dominate a human's mind when it's inside and turn them into demonic beasts. They haven't seen someone like that because of the rule. Those people are sent to the forest of roots anyway. That's how people on the outside think. Darien said that as long as one has the seed of darkness, they'll definitely die fighting humans. Helmet wondered whether he would become a demonic beast and fight humans. The reason why Darien taught him how to use Vis was so that he could suppress the seed of darkness within him. He should hide the seed or he will get in trouble. When Finn and Helmet were collecting the corpses, they were shocked to see that one of the beasts turned out to be alive still. As soon as he sees the still-moving demonic beast, Helmet draws his sword and slashes it dead. He felt different from when he was training. It felt like he had become unclogged somewhere. So he wondered whether his Vis had returned. The other guys are praising Helmet for his fast reflex, but Tanya was stunned. She felt like she saw something emerging from Helmet's hand at that time. Helmet meditates at night. He's sure now that his Vis has finally returned. The blade he swung instinctively had brought out Vis. Helmet is called back because the mercenaries are deciding the night watch order. They will stand guard in groups of 2 with 3 shifts. Helmet and Tanya, Finn and Maros, Sin and Burn in that order. Yute was injured so he will be excused. After their shift, Tanya told Helmet to wake up the next group so that they could rest. Helmet can detect the demonic beast that fled in the morning. The demonic beasts are waiting until everyone is asleep, so Helmet decided to look out for them by himself, just in case. He will take this time to recover his Vis as well. The bully from Tariq, Caleb, sees Helmet walking alone. He took the chance and decided to follow him. Helmet could sense it from behind him when the bully called him out. Caleb confronted him because he felt belittled because Helmet had been ignoring him since the request began. He's going to take the opportunity to take revenge since no one is going to come and save Helmet again. Helmet told Caleb to live like a human and not a demonic beast. He even called him out by his name. Rank 4, Mercenary of Tariq, Mercenary Corps. It made Caleb angry. He broke his own hand trying to beat Helmet, but Helmet managed to grab and twist the bully's hand. The bully was shocked by Helmet's strength. Helmet told the guy to choose his opponent wisely if he wanted to establish a hierarchy. Caleb tried to attack Helmet, but Helmet accidentally used his sword to strike the bully's legs. Caleb was injured. If Helmet leaves him there, his identity will be found out. He has an epiphany and decides to murder the man. The seed of darkness inside him made him feel like he'd become a demonic beast. He assured himself that he was just Helmet. Caleb had gone running away, still in shock that Helmet was actually that strong. Unfortunately, he met the demonic beast that ran away that morning. Helmet heard him screaming in fear from far away. Helmet faced the demonic beast confidently, as he's now strong enough to fight it. The beast backed off as if sensing that Helmet was a strong opponent. Helmet told the demonic monster to take Caleb away and get lost, and so it did. Helmet is sure that it will be back again, and now he needs to think of how to explain the situation first. Everyone concludes that Caleb is now dead. His comrades are in mourning, and the captain apologized to Helmet on behalf of the Tariq Mercenary Corps, as he was being bullied by Caleb. Tanya doesn't accept the apology easily. She blamed them for not supervising their members properly. Caleb's brother was appalled because he felt like Tanya had insulted both Caleb and their whole corps. They were about to fight some more when they were stopped. The Tariq Mercenary Corps is at fault, but the Pace Mercenary Corps should watch their words. As compensation, Caleb's request fee to Helmet. There are already 3 people dead, so they have to think about how to deal with the demonic beasts. Helmet was scolded by Tanya for wandering alone. She's planning to not let Helmet travel alone again. Helmet felt weird being scolded by Tanya. It reminded him of Darian. They were both cold and warm at the same time. Helmet promised to be careful from now on. The next day, they continued their journey. They have to get out of that forest as soon as possible to avoid other demonic beasts in their way. Unfortunately, they encounter the same kind of demonic beasts as the day before. There's still many, and Helmet can feel their energy well, although some of them are far away from him. They're sending demonic beasts to the core little by little. The mercenaries were all exhausted, and some of them suffered minor injuries, including Maros and Sin. Fion thought that Finn and Helmet were doing better than he expected. Helmet can look after Finn, since he knows how to use a sword, and Finn is at least good at dodging. Strangely, the demonic beasts are targeting only the Pace Mercenary Corps. The other corps has lost 3 people, and they wouldn't likely help them due to their fight yesterday. Fion hopes everyone can make it out alive. The Tariq Mercenary Corps member talked to Paul about how the demonic beasts only attack other corps. The leader of the beasts must be planning something. The member suggested that they should help out, but Paul doesn't agree. He wanted to use this opportunity to aim for efficiency, not just safety. What Paul of the Tariq Mercenary Corps means by efficiency is simple. While the Pace Mercenary Corps distracts the demonic beasts, the rest quickly escape from the forest. According to Paul, they're in charge of the important items anyway. So Miles was angry, and he questioned the Tariq Mercenary Corps' morality. Paul managed to convince them that the most important thing was their survival. He offered an alternative so that Miles wouldn't have to compensate everyone for all the goods and lives lost in the worst-case scenario. The Pace Mercenary Corps members and horses have been exhausted for a while now. They also have no idea how far they still have to go. The Tariq Mercenary Corps doesn't help out. Suddenly, they even speed up, leaving the Pace Mercenary Corps behind. Fion realized that their corpses were used as bait so that the Tariq members could escape. As soon as they have fewer forces, the demonic beasts come and surround the Pace Mercenary Corps. Helmet wondered how many of them could survive in that situation. Fion told everyone to stand by and get ready for the attacks. If Helmet acts now, people will find out who he is and where he came from. But it no longer matters for Helmet. Everyone is in danger. Just this once, Helmet will try trusting humans. Helmet told everyone that what he's going to do now is a secret. He used this to attack the demonic monsters one by one simultaneously, all by himself, leaving everyone speechless. Everyone thinks it was a miracle that Helmet managed to kill so many demonic beasts. The leader ran away when it saw its subordinates die. Fion asked what is wrong with Helmet, but Helmet simply said that his body has healed. Tanya is now certain that she did not see it incorrectly at the time. Helmet asked whether everyone was all right, but they were still too stunned to speak. Fion wonders how Helmet is able to manifest this at such a young age, when even he, a rank 2, can't do it. He asked Helmet where he had learned swordsmanship. Helmet still can't trust the human to tell the whole truth, so he only said that he remembers living with a master in a forest. The Pace Mercenary Corps needs to get out of that forest first. Fion asked Helmet what he would do later. Helmet promised to stay until they got out of the forest, but he doesn't know what happens after that. He also hasn't gotten his share of money yet. The Corps decided to chase after the ones who went ahead first. The members' bodies felt light after resting, and their injuries are healed. Tanya keeps tracking down the Tariq Mercenary Corps. It looks like they ran all night. According to the original plan, they should take a break at the first village after the forest, so they'll probably meet there. Some members are still angry, and they plan to take revenge in that village. They also wonder what will happen to the request now that they only got one food carriage instead of the important stuff. Helmet suddenly heard some noises. He told everyone that he senses demonic energy gathering. It could be the Tariq Mercenary Corps having a battle. Helmet predicted that it's about an hour away from where they're at, and the leader of the demonic beasts is also there. Fion was amazed by Helmet's ability. Helmet said that it will take less time if they hurry, and Tariq should be able to hold on until they get there. Some members are still vengeful about what happened, but Fion reminded them that they're mercenaries, so they have to finish the request. They need to take care of it first before dealing with the Tariq Mercenary Corps. They're different from the Tariq anyway, so they will secure the client and the goods. The Tariq Mercenary Corps was having a hard time defending itself against the demonic beasts. Paul couldn't believe that the beasts would chase after them so persistently, thinking that they already had the Pace Mercenaries Corps. Paul was planning to run away with Max, leaving everyone else behind. Everyone will die at the hands of the beast leader, so their reputation will be safe. When Paul and Max told them to disperse and then ran away, everyone was taken aback. Sir Miles was also left stunned. He realized that he had trusted the wrong people. He was about to be killed by the demonic beast, but Helmet came to rescue him from the beast. Helmet arrives at the location of the Tariq Mercenary Corps just in time to save Sir Miles from being killed. He managed to save the client. He was told that he should go ahead of the other Pace members. Fion had a bad feeling because Tariq had already betrayed them once. If Helmet had been there any later, all the merchants would have been killed. Now that he has his vengeance, Helmet can face the demonic beast leader without worry. He used his sword and vis to fight it. It was the strongest demonic beast he had met outside the forest. Helmet doesn't let his guard down as he fights. Suddenly, the demonic energy of his opponent got even stronger, as if it were absorbing all the demonic energy around it. The Pace Mercenary Corps will be there soon. If they try and run in to help, they may end up in danger, so Helmet plans to end it as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, the demonic beast leader was resilient. It won't work with Helmet's usual fighting strength, so he adds more power to it. The leader has become even faster, and its claws have grown new ones. It will be bothersome if Helmet doesn't kill it in one slash. Helmet's clothes were ripped as he fought the demonic beast, so he thinks he should buy some new ones in town. In the end, the demonic beast leader even consumed the other demonic beasts. Helmet suddenly sees the pattern of the beast's attack. It is the same attack pattern as MANHWA. Even if it absorbs all the demonic energy there is, it will still be weaker than MANHWA. Helmet then bravely attacks the leader until it's finally dead. The Pace Mercenary Corps rushed towards Helmet, and they were surprised to see that he had defeated all of the demonic creatures himself. All of the Tariq Mercenary Corps members who were present have died. Fion concluded that their captain had abandoned them and fled on his own. Tanya said that they're bastards who didn't have loyalty or a sense of responsibility in the first place. They found that Sir Miles, their client, had survived. Sir Miles is finally awake, thinking it was the afterlife. As soon as he sees Fion, he apologizes for abandoning their whole corps. He admitted that he was threatened by Paul. He was stunned to realize that he wasn't dead yet. Fion didn't explain the whole thing because Helmet asked to keep it secret. Since the Pace Mercenary Corps saved his life, they demanded 80 of the profit. They managed to continue the request after all, despite his betrayal. Sir Miles bargained to decrease it by 10. But Fion said that it's his problem to compensate those who die. If he doesn't want that, Sir Miles can go all by himself from there. In the end, he agreed. Fion asked about the truth of the goods they're guarding. According to Sir Miles, it will be the end of the Bhutan Merchant Association if the news gets out. The Pace Mercenary Corps might get wrapped up in danger as well if they know the truth, but Fion insisted on knowing. The client they're heading to meet right now is a mage known as Antiol, the Archmage. The goods are things that can't go through inspection or surveillance. The origin of the goods that they're transporting is a place that mages aren't permitted to visit, the Temple of Lumen. The temple's power exceeds one's imagination. The group that defeated the Demon King 1,000 years ago is still going strong. They were a group that protected the world from demonic energy at the time. But they're far from what they used to be now. They're gathering wealth and power in the name of protection. Most of the kingdoms are under control as the price for borrowing divine power, but they're unable to control magicians. Sir Miles is sure that they're looking out for the chance to get their hands on them. If the temple finds out, the Bhutan Merchant Association delivered an item from the temple to a mage. It would be destroyed due to the conflict. Edel once saved the leader of their association before, so they can't refuse the request. Helmet was curious about Edel. A few years ago, the divine barrier was almost destroyed. It detected the mana from mages, so the temple ended up restricting the mages. They sought freedom by almost destroying the barrier, but the temple covered up the incident. Helmet now understands why he was sent to the Forest of Roots. The temple was unable to remove the seed of darkness within him using the divine power. He wonders if magic would be able to do so. Helmet hoped that this mage would be different from the black mage he saw in the Forest of Roots. They finally get out of the demonic beast's territory. They decided to camp, since it was hard to go any further due to the setting sun. Fion asked to talk with Helmet for a moment. He gave Helmet something expensive to eat, one that swordsmen eat when their vigor or stamina is depleted. Helmet's body is getting warm, suggesting that it was effective. Fion thanked Helmet for protecting the Pace Mercenary Corps. He swears in the name of the Pace Mercenary Corps that they will help him out whenever he needs it. Helmet gladly accepted the gratitude, since they're now trustworthy comrades. The Pace Mercenary Corps and Miles finally arrived at the location according to the map. Instead of a village, it was only a road. Miles explained that they're going to carry the items to Antiol's abode themselves. Miles took a pendant-like item from his pocket to show the Corps what he meant. Magic emerged from the pendant, and they're starting to leap through space. Fion has only heard rumors about an Archmage's abilities. It wasn't an illusion, since they could feel the temperature dropping too much. They were welcomed by an old man as guests from the Bhutan Merchant Association. The man said that he's satisfied with their job, since some of the items should be hard to acquire. He also noticed that there are traces of human life force leaving from different parts of the carriage, meaning that several people died. Sir Miles explained their situation, and said that only a third of the members made it there. Sir Miles offered to sell the demonic beast's corpses to the old man. He agreed to add them to the request fee, and total it at 150,000 marks. The Pace Mercenary Corps was surprised by the price, but archmages are wealthy beings after all. Helmet keeps on observing the old man, and knows that he is strong, that his power feels different than Erugo's, and that he's concealing his mana completely. The old man noticed Helmet, and instantly found it interesting. Mages, especially those who can see the truth hidden deep within, can see into the truth from time to time. Helmet told him not to say anything more than that. The old man respected his desire to keep the secret, so he created a barrier around the two of them, so that no one could hear them. The old man swore by the mage's name, Antiol. He's using a mage's oath, a promise made by mages that, if broken, can cause them to lose a large amount of mana. The old man knew instantly that it would be related to the seed of darkness inside Helmet. Helmet wanted to know how to get rid of it, but the old man said that it was impossible. The seed that possesses the power of a demon rarely indwells babies who were supposed to die in their mother's wombs. They are brought to life by the seed of darkness itself, and must live forever as its host until death. Hence, the seed of darkness is no different from his heart. Helmet thought an archmage would know a way, but he's not God after all. This is his first time seeing a human who has control over the seed of darkness. The seed of darkness normally demands demonic energy from its host. The more they resist demonic energy, the more their mind is devoured, and the more they will habitually conduct evil acts. They will ultimately go insane because their minds cannot handle it, or they will become engulfed by the demonic energy they absorb and turn into a being similar to a demonic beast. But Helmet's case is very unique. According to the old man, theoretically Helmet can suppress the seed using a different power, but that power can only be either mana or vis. Both powers require immense talent and time poured into them. But a seed that does not receive demonic energy attacks the mind much faster than that. To think Helmet trained in this while taking in just enough energy for the seed not to go berserk, all the while not being discovered by the temple, is interesting. Helmet doesn't know whether to be relieved or not, since the old man doesn't expect him to have come out of the forest of roots. Even the priests of Lumen would find it hard to detect the traces of the seed, and the Archmage himself simply managed to see the seed because it reacted to the thick demonic energy present there. Helmet should avoid areas with demonic energy as much as possible. The old man said that Helmet currently doesn't have a bright future, but he will be stronger with time, and will likely become a powerful individual if he can avoid the temple's attention until then. However, everyone who possessed the seed of darkness would likely become either criminals or demonic beasts. His sword will eventually destroy this world, and his hands will obliterate countless lives. That's the general fate of those who possess the seed of darkness. Helmet said that it would not happen because he's a human. The old man was interested in watching him prove his words. If Helmet isn't able to overcome it, he has to be stopped. But if he can reach a higher level than the old man, he might be able to control the darkness itself. Fion gave 3/4 of the reward to Helmet as his share. He also gave him the bag containing the things Helmet brought out of the forest of roots. He thought he had lost it, but Fion found it while he was going through the luggage. Helmet thanked him, but Fion showed him his gratitude instead, for being a benefactor of the Corps. Fion was excited to show Helmet their mercenary corps headquarters after finally finishing the request. But Helmet has decided to leave. Tanya told him that he could still use the mercenary certificate. It had only been upgraded to rank 3 because it was only temporary. The Corps members were sad that Helmet had to go, but they wished him well. Tanya told him to take care of himself. They thanked each other, and Helmet managed to compliment Fion's meals. Fion promised that whenever Helmet needs help, he can come to the Corps. Helmet felt aches in his heart when he left his comrades, like when Darien left Elijah's side. However, if Helmet keeps doing mercenary work, he will have to face the demonic beast, and it might cause him to lose against the seed of darkness. The only way to make sure he's not turning into a bad person or demonic beast is to get stronger, to the point that even the seed of darkness can't control him. Paul and Max were in disguise after they abandoned their members. They were drinking at a restaurant while hiding their faces. They're thinking that they shouldn't have accepted the dangerous request. They only felt unfortunate about Caleb. The others are not special. They can still rebuild Tariq, unlike the Pace Mercenary Corps, which they thought was dead as a whole. But then they were shocked to see the members of that corps passing by. The fact that the Pace Mercenary Corps is still alive means that Paul and Max can't cover the incident in their betrayal. They need to stay low for a while. It will only be a matter of time until their actions are reported to the guild. Paul has a plan, saying that they might as well steal because starving to death is the only alternative. Helmet was sitting in a pub, perplexed. He has to find a clue for the necklace he brought out of the forest of roots. He's going from village to village. Helmet has money from both Fion and Darien. Helmet discovers a letter from Darien, in addition to the money in the bag. In the letter, Darien said that if Helmet is reading this letter, then that means my life has come to an end, or it can also mean you succeeded in getting out of the forest of roots. Helmet is probably having trouble adjusting to the outside world right now, since the way he has lived until now is different from the way people live on the outside. Of course, Darien knew that it wasn't Helmet's fault, so he doesn't need to feel bad about it. Darien's time must really be coming to an end since he was worrying about Helmet. Darien then gets straight to the point. If Helmet's roaming around without a clear goal right now, try going to Baden. There is a place called Greta Academy that children his age attend. Darien wanted him to learn more about being a human, which was lacking from his teachings. That is a place where commoners and nobles alike attend equally. No one will try to find out where he's from, nor will they care. He can't enroll on his own, so he needs to go find a man named Ethan Kudrow. He'll know he's Darien's disciple if he shows the sword Darien gave him. He made an oath, so he'll help Helmet. According to Darien, the human world may be a more dangerous and terrifying place than Helmet can imagine. It's not a place where strength can solve all his problems. But since he managed to overcome all his harsh training, he will trust that Helmet will somehow overcome this trial as well. Take care of yourself, Darien concluded. Helmet noticed that the letters are shaky, which means that Darien barely had enough strength to write. Helmet feels thankful now, but he knows where to go. Helmet's food arrived and cost only 15 marks. He paid for it with a 1,000-mark coin. He plans to sleep there as well, and depart tomorrow. He received 90,000 marks from the request, so it was worth more than he expected. Suddenly, a drunk man who had been there for a while approached Helmet, knowing he had a lot of money. He was with other men, trying to steal money from Helmet. They asked for 20,000 marks, but Helmet refused to give them any. The man was angry and about to punch Helmet, but he easily grasped the man's fist and fought back. The bad men asked who Helmet is since he's very strong, and Helmet only said that he's a merchant. Helmet told them to go away, and they left after threatening him to watch his back. The seller told Helmet to get out of town immediately. The ones he fought were Black Hawk and the thugs that dominate the underworld. They had declared war, and they would kill just about anyone with their capabilities. It's a hassle for Helmet, but he will call them somewhere else so that they don't destroy the place. He will wait for them in the forest out back. The thieves know the forest well, so they thought Helmet was making mistakes by running that way. They want to show that the Black Hawk at night is more terrifying than anything in this world. Helmet learned that there are many humans in this world who act like demonic beasts, and there are also humans who protect each other while risking their lives. He doesn't know how to solve a problem like what he faces right now with anything other than strength. But for Helmet, humans that act like demonic beasts need to be treated as demonic beasts. According to Helmet, Black Hawk is more boring than he expected. He realized after killing them, that they were even weaker than Tanya. He still needs to fight more humans in order to know the standard of human strength. When the seed within him began to hurt, he decided to return to the inn and rest. Helmet wondered if it was because he just murdered humans instead of demonic beasts. He realized that killing the thieves was a bad move since he could get caught in his current condition of growing darkness. He needs to avoid his opponents as much as possible if he can't even kill them. Helmet also needs to go to bed and fast. Sir Anton was receiving news about the Black Hawk members who had died. The one who brought the news said that they will be able to know the exact location if they keep pursuing. Sir Anton expected a rank 2 mercenary to come, but he didn't know that it was Paul and Max who came. Sir Anton welcomed them to join at a time when it was hard to find skilled people. However, there's a condition for them to join. They are different from normal mercenary corps since they do a lot of illegal things, so the members can't disturb a job just because of some kind of justice or moral sense. They need to prove more than just skills. Sir Anton explained that 5 of their subordinates went missing last night and they found their corpses in a forest. They were killed by a single stab while fighting a single merchant. Sir Anton described Helmet's characteristics, and so the two just need to kill him. They are promised a better quality of life in the Black Hawk Mercenary Corps. According to the report, the culprit was in the village's inn. He can't get too far since not much time has passed since the incident. Helmet goes to the mercenary guild to make a request because he wants to move without drawing attention. The lady at the front desk was fascinated by Helmet's rank since he was so young. Helmet asked for a request that he could do on the way to Baden. According to the lady, Baden is a metropolis. Tons of people want to go there, so it will be easy to get escort or transportation requests. The lady offered Helmet to escort a noble lady, and the reward is 800 marks, but there's a condition. The mercenary needs to be the lady's type. The lady from the mercenary guild said that image is important when dealing with a noble requester. Even if someone's famous or gives off a strong first impression, their attire needs to at least be decent. She also said that Helmet's face is enough, so he only needs to buy some nice clothes, and the lady will prepare the request for him. Helmet entered any clothing store he managed to find. The owner offered him top-grade fabric clothes made by the most famous artisan in Baden for 2,000 marks, and Helmet took it even if it was more expensive than the reward. The lady from the mercenary guild was satisfied with Helmet's new attire. She had sent his information to the client, and since Helmet has the reputation of being a Pace Mercenary Corps member, he has a fairly considerable chance of passing. A man from House of Zaringen came to check the mercenary, who accepted the request. He looked at Helmet's appearance and decided that he looked good enough. Someone was hiding while observing Helmet and the man coming out of the guild. The man introduced himself as Gilton, the butler of House of Zaringen. He said that it's good that Helmet hasn't heard anything about Marcus Zaringen. He just needs to know that he is of high status, so he needs to be careful of his actions. Helmet told him that he had made a transportation request before. If things got difficult, he just needed to follow what the knights said, and they would grant him more money once the request was completed. Helmet arrived at the luxurious inn that the Marcus's daughter is currently staying in. One of the knights named Cendric found Helmet too young, but Gilton told him that his capability had been verified by the guild. The lady's currently having breakfast in the cafeteria, so they head there. Lady Xenia was informed about the newly hired Helmet, but she doesn't care. She has things to speak about with a silver-haired young boy named Lord Aaliyah. The lady appeared to like the man, but Aaliyah, who covered him up to his head, advised him to rest. Helmet sensed something strange about the boy. Helmet thinks that there's something different about Aaliyah. He's Lady Zena's guest, and apparently he's quite well known at the Greta Academy in Baden. The butler accidentally met him, and the lady recognized the guy. That's why he's there with them. Lady Xenia is going to take the entrance exams since she's still 14 years old. Helmet's original destination used to be the Greta Academy. Gilton told Helmet to get ready for departure and bring a horse from the stables. They have about 2 hours left. Once Helmet's done with the preparations, he can come to where the carriage is. Helmet was too old to see Cendric if he needed anything else. Helmet's horse is a handful and difficult to control. The word on the street is that Xenia is pregnant. Helmet realized when the guy passed by that he's a mage. On the journey, Helmet still thinks about the magic that Aaliyah has. He's curious why he cast a spell on himself, so he wants to keep an eye on him. Inside the carriage, the lady asked a lot about Aaliyah. He's the top student in his class in the magic faculty, so Xenia bet that the test would be easy for him. He told the lady that she would also do well if she prepared enough. Lady Xenia said that she needs someone to prepare her for the entrance exam. Aaliyah is willing to recommend a suitable teacher, but the lady wanted him to be her teacher instead. Helmet was trying to eavesdrop on their conversation from outside. The Blackhawks confirmed that the enemy received a small request and started relocating a few hours ago. Anton told the two guys to eliminate Helmet alone without causing any problems to the noble client and her knights. The philosophy of Blackhawk is to ensure that they tear their opponents apart piece by piece until their opponent is dead. So he hoped that everyone, especially Maze and Paul, would have the same mindset. And yes, they do. Despite the latest protests, the escorting group found a small inn to sleep in. Helmet decided to practice outside. His vision has gotten much better compared to when he was in the Forest of Roots. But it feels like something is blocking it. Helmet wondered whether he could focus more on his training once he gets into the Greta Academy. Helmet sensed something watching over him. It was actually a bird sent by Aaliyah from his room using the eyes of an eagle spell. He's snooping on Helmet because he finds him strange as well. Aaliyah has seen countless skilled mercenaries, though it is rare to see such a young rank, 3 mercenary like Helmet. Lady Xenia knocked on his door, wanting to talk to him, but she was dragged by her servants to bed early. Aaliyah finds it really exhausting to deal with her. The next day, on their journey, they took a rest in a place where people heading to Baden usually rest. They took water from there to wash their faces and drink. The nobles ate all sorts of salads and meats. While the escorts were only given a piece of bread, Helmet suddenly missed Finn's meal. He's not sure what he feels from the cup of water he's drinking. He wondered if it was poisoned, but everybody seems fine. Not long after that, the butler found the lady had fallen asleep. And then everyone also started to fall asleep, except Helmet, who had stopped drinking the water a while ago. He knew someone was coming. They are Max, Paul, and a member of Blackhawk who used sleeping poison in the water, drunk by everyone. They are surprised to see Helmet awake. When they ask if he was the one who killed Blackhawk's minions, he recognized Max and Paul. The other Blackhawk members come to surround Helmet and are about to start their hunt. Paul drew his sword, but a surge of magic prevented him from swinging it. Aaliyah arrived and told them to lay down their weapons and leave if they didn't want trouble. The Blackhawk members thought that Aaliyah was just another boy they had to deal with. Helmet kept on side-eyeing the guy as well, until Aaliyah told him to focus on the opponent instead. He even called Helmet a bastard crow. Paul was pissed that the other member didn't know that there was a mage there. He tried to attack Helmet while Max faced Aaliyah. Helmet thinks that he got lucky because Aaliyah was there. If he were alone, it would be difficult to face 2 rank 2 mercenaries and thieves. Paul thought he got the upper hand, but Helmet was actually glad they followed him there. He knows Paul and Maze are not worthy to face him. Paul was surprised to see Helmet using a vis. He was easily beaten up by the boy. Helmet told him to take his subordinates and leave quickly before he killed him. Paul told him to just kill him instead of humiliating him, but to Helmet, the betrayal Paul and Max had done to their own comrades was much more humiliating. Helmet wondered whether Aaliyah, who fights far from him, was okay. But he's fine, and Max was the one who was losing. Max asked who the boy really is, and Aaliyah told the guy that he's just a mage. Aaliyah uses an enormous amount of magic. He doesn't care about what they have to do, but if they interfere with his business, like they did, it is a different matter. Max hates how arrogant Aaliyah is, but to Aaliyah, the guy was only pretending to be tough. He can beat him with just an attack of magic. Alia told the other guys that they would have to come to Baden with them. He cast a restraining magic spell, so everyone was running away and he only got some of them tied up. Max also managed to escape without Alia noticing. He was hiding. He can't believe that the guy Blackhawk chased was Helmet from the Pace Mercenary Corps, and there was even a mage. Helmet passed him by, looking fine without any scratches. Max wondered whether Paul was also defeated. Alia handed Helmet ropes to tie up the already tied thieves. Alia said that he's going to toss them into the prison in Baden. He doesn't want to waste any mana by keeping the restraining magic. Helmet only recently realized about the prison, and he now regrets letting Paul and Max go. Alia asked Helmet why he didn't fall asleep. He answered that he didn't drink the water from the spring. Alia suddenly threw a magic spell towards Helmet, but Helmet didn't even flinch. Helmet also questioned him about why he wasn't asleep when he also drank the water. Alia said that a mage can purify that much water. Helmet asked whether it was because of the magic surrounding his body this whole time. He didn't expect that Helmet could sense the magic. Helmet said that he pretended not to know because he wasn't that curious, and it was none of his business anyway. Alia found the crow bastard really irritating. Gilton was relieved that Alia and Helmet managed to have the situation under control. He was about to discuss the payment when Xenia suddenly came to Alia. She was happy that he saved her in such a crisis. She said that she was willing to repay him with anything, and she even proposed to him. But Alia cut her off, saying that he has someone he's betrothed to back home. He said that as soon as he graduates from the academy, he will wed her. The lady was upset and cried out loud. Though they stayed up overnight, they were still able to arrive without any trouble in Baden. Gilton makes sure to commend him within the mercenary guild and gives him 10,000 marks as a token of gratitude. Helmet also thanked Alia for helping him in a lot of ways before leaving. Helmet finds the city quite strange. It's bigger than any village he's visited before and has more people. It's hard to find things in such a big city. But he finally finds the Greta Academy. He wanted to find a man named Ethan Kudrow, so he asked the lady at the front desk of the academy. Ethan Kudrow is a swordsmanship instructor there, and Helmet said that he is his acquaintance. The lady led him to a magical room and told him to wait outside. He's curious about the human Darian mentioned. He was let in to meet the instructor. Ethan said that he doesn't recognize Helmet's name, so Helmet should state his business. Helmet can sense from Ethan's aura that he's not as strong as Darian, but amongst the swordsmen he has seen, he's at the very top, maybe as strong as a mercenary level 1. Ethan asked again why the boy came to him. Helmet drew his sword and showed it to Ethan, saying that someone had said he would know what the sword meant. Ethan takes another look at the sword and instantly feels its familiarity. He got reminded of Darian de Partey and Helmet corrected it. Ethan inquired as to whether he was still alive, but Helmet shocked him by informing him of his recent death. According to Ethan, it has been 20 years since Darian went missing and he vowed to repay him for saving his life. Ethan knows that the fact that Helmet is holding the sword means that he is Darian's last apprentice. So Ethan asked him why he wanted to see him. Helmet informed him that he wished to attend the Greater Academy. Ethan understands now why Darian sent Helmet to him. Perhaps he thought the boy needed a guardian. When Ethan asked about Helmet's age, the boy was not sure whether it was 14 or 15 years old. Although he was stunned by that, based on his observation, Ethan assumes that Helmet is 15 and so he has to take the exam as a transfer student. If Helmet reveals the fact that he's the apprentice of the divine swordsman Darian de Partey, he may be allowed to even transfer immediately without a test. Helmet felt grateful that Darian still helps him. He wondered what had happened to him since Ethan said he went missing when, in fact, he was in the Forest of Roots. Darian's acquaintance didn't know it, and so he might be sent there against his will. If the one sending Darian found out about him being an apprentice of Darian, and that he has a seed of darkness, he might be sent back into the forest. Helmet then decided that he couldn't reveal everything. He told Ethan that his life would be in danger if people found out that he was Darian's apprentice. Ethan was appalled by it and demanded to know who would kill him. Helmet told him that he would eventually tell the truth. He told Helmet to ask for assistance if he needed anything. Now they need to prepare for Helmet's transfer examination, and Ethan wants to check his skill first. They went to Ethan's personal training ground. Helmet was asked to slice a big tree branch using the prepared wooden sword. White birch is harder than most woods. Ethan knows that Helmet is not ordinary, but he's still surprised when the boy easily slashes the branch using his vis. Helmet is powerful, so according to Ethan, his entrance is pretty much guaranteed. As Darian's apprentice, his swordsmanship is at such a high level. Ethan told the boy that he only needed to pass the written exam now. But his practice scores were only 4 on average, and he was told he would not be able to enroll in the academy with those scores. There are only 10 days before the exam, and he needs to improve that. Helmut asks Ethan whether he could teach him, but it's not permitted since he's one of the faculty members. Helmut remembered Aaliyah and asks Ethan about him. According to Ethan, he enrolled with honors at the top of his class because he had a perfect score for the first time in the history of the academy. Helmut told Ethan that he would just ask Aaliyah to teach him. The instructor asked him how he knew the student, but Helmut just left. Aaliyah said that he doesn't like teaching stupid people, especially when they come to him without notice. He thought Helmut was just a mercenary. He doesn't have any intention of tutoring him. Helmut said that he only needs to pass, and Aaliyah is more than qualified to teach him. Helmut said that he will not ask for anything for free, and that he will pay Aaliyah for teaching him. Aaliyah was offended, but he demanded 100,000 marks just to make sure that the boy wouldn't insist anymore. Aaliyah was shocked when Helmut said he would prepare the money. It's a huge amount of money. Helmut proposed to start the tutoring tomorrow. Aaliyah said that the money better be ready, and he won't let the boy get lazy with the study. Aaliyah returned to the house, and a green-haired boy was enthralled by the fact that Aaliyah has such a good friend as Helmut. Helmut came in the morning just like they promised, and he gave Aaliyah the full amount of money. Aaliyah has never tutored anyone before, so Helmut can't ask for his money back even if he fails the exam. He said he would do it for money, but he believed that there wasn't much to tutor. They're in the library, and Aaliyah thinks that Helmut's ability to learn is much more outstanding compared to any other student from the Department of Magic. Aaliyah asked Helmut whether he came out of a forest after living by himself or something. As Helmut expected, he needs to be careful around the mage. Helmut's focus is pretty decent, and his memorization skill is great, but Aaliyah's annoyed that the boy doesn't possess any of the most basic ethics and common sense. His practice score was so bad. Aaliyah said that they need to finish the other subjects as soon as possible, and focus more on that area after. Aaliyah told Helmut that he would need to enroll him in this academy no matter what. He has his pride as the top student. He got a huge sum of money, but for Aaliyah, it's about his honor. Helmut finds the boy's behavior and words strange. Aaliyah was left speechless with Helmut's poor understanding of basic ethics and common sense. He told Helmut that it's not just about avoiding a fight after a conflict, but also how the parties involved will learn their lesson. People forgive the person, not the sins. That's the definition of justice set by the Academy standard. Helmut finds humans even more complicated now. He knew he had learned those fundamentals late, so he needed a lot more time to comprehend them. Aaliyah keeps tutoring him despite his anger towards Helmut's nonsense. 2 weeks later, everyone was observing Aaliyah at the examination place in the library. They know that he has been tutoring Helmut. Helmut passed the written exam with flying colors, so Aaliyah declared that their tutoring was completed today. Helmut thanked him for helping him study. Now Helmut has to do the practical exam in the Department of Sword Arts. He has to wait until the instructor takes him to his respective group. Helmut was thinking about practicing after the exam when someone named Sabat Rugal talked to him. He's the second son of the Rugal family. He wanted to take advantage of Helmut's closeness with Aaliyah. He asked for Helmut's last name, but the boy was confused. Sabat asked Helmut's last name to get to know him. The only family Helmut knows is the one written inside the pendant, Margaret Irene, but he knew that he probably shouldn't say that name since he was forsaken in the forests of roots. Helmut then admitted that he is just a commoner who doesn't have a last name. Sabat and his friends started to mock and underestimate Helmut after knowing the truth. They wondered how he was able to get tutored by Aaliyah in the first place. One of the supervisors confronted Sabat for being noisy and reminded him that it is strictly forbidden to discriminate based on their class and gender in that academy. The applicants are required to take a seat, and before they went away, Sabat reminded Helmut to stay low and not hang around people above his class. The participants gather in a room to do the practical exam. It will be conducted in groups and it will be done in 2 separate stages. The other participant is looking at Helmut and he realized that humans will always have classifications among themselves and it isn't just based on strength. Helmut was in group 4 and he entered the venue. He's required to slash the black wood tree in the first stage using the wooden sword provided. He's free to use any swordsmanship and this they desire. The time restriction is 5 minutes after he wields the sword. Even if he manages to slash the log in the time provided, he won't be disqualified. It was too simple for Helmut. The supervisor even had to strike multiple times to do it. The other applicants doubted how fast Helmut finished the first stage and now the second stage involves sparring. While the instructors are observing, the applicants will be dueling one-on-one using their own swordsmanship with their opponent for 8 minutes. Their final acceptance will be decided upon careful evaluation and the opponents are decided randomly. Sabat believes that anyone who has Helmet as an opponent has a free pass. Helmet only looked at him without saying anything, so Sabat asked why he didn't hit him instead. Sabat taunted Helmet to hit him if he's offended by what he said. Helmet wondered if the guy would leave him alone if he really hit him, but before that it was announced that Helmet would be going up against another applicant named Androm. Ethan is one of the 3 judges and since Helmet was recommended by him, he won't be evaluating the duel. It is the first time Ethan has ever recommended someone, so the other judges have high expectations for Helmet. The sparring match will last a total of 8 minutes with 2 rounds lasting 4 minutes each. The spar will only stop when an applicant is no longer able to wield their sword or continue with the duel. Androm heard that Helmet is a commoner, so he assumes that Helmet didn't go through formal training. However, using the swordsmanship he has been training since childhood, Helmet was able to defeat Androm in a second. Helmet had won the duel. The judge saw that Helmet's blade is quick and powerful and it's hard to believe that it came from a child. Ethan also witnessed Helmet's strength and ability. The difference between 2 students is quite big, so it's hard to distinguish the applicant's skill level. Ethan told Helmet to spar with Androm as if he were trying to teach him instead of defeating him. Androm was told to show his abilities in the next spar. When he began to attack Helmet, Helmet told him to be faster in doing so. When he makes such a large movement, it becomes easier to block. He also told him a lot of tips to attack and defend himself through the spar. The way Helmet literally teaches Androm how to spar makes Ethan remember Darien. Once, he was losing to a demonic beast and about to give up, but Darien came and told him to fight back. Seeing Helmet now, it seems like Darien has returned. The judges chose their candidates from a range of power levels. They also think Helmet will soar in the academy. 1 week later, Helmet was wandering around the city to find the Baden Mercenary Guild. He's fulfilling a request, and he left his belongings back then. The boy at the front desk confirms Helmet's identity and helps to accommodate whatever he needs. Ethan was surprised when he knew Helmet had paid Aaliyah 100,000 marks. He was frustrated that Helmet doesn't know how to maintain his whole life savings. As his guardian, he needs to teach him that money is important there, so it must be managed properly. Helmet is free to do whatever he wants because he has another month before the enrollment. And that's why he decided to fulfill some requests. Ethan allows it as long as it's not too dangerous or anything formally referred to as protection duty. Helmet asked for a request that he can do within Baden that he can complete before the next month. There is one that's fitting, but the location is in the Greta Academy. There have been reports of an academy ghost appearing within the academy. According to the reports, the appearances are often at night, but they come from various places, so the specifics are unknown. Until now, there has been no evidence or cause that has been found, and they have filed a request to avoid any potential dangers that may occur. The request is to find the identity of the academy ghost and report once it has been eliminated. Helmet picked the request since he wants to be familiar with the academy, but he has never made that kind of request before. He was thinking when someone approached him. It was the green-haired boy before. It was the first time Aaliyah, the idol of the magic department, had actually hung around anyone, so he noticed Helmet. Helmet asked whether the boy was also a mage. He confirmed it, but he's slightly different from Aaliyah. He cast a round, flying, fiery monster, and Helmet tried to punch it. The boy laughed at him as he was the first person to try to hit Rated. Rattan is a spirit of light who is a bit mischievous but not harmful. Even if it becomes harmful, people won't be able to block it. Only some mages are able to control them since the spirits do not possess physical bodies, and one of those mages is the green-haired boy, Cyan, the only elemental mage in the academy. Helmet thinks Cyan is a fun guy, but he has to fulfill the request. Cyan knew about the rumor of the academy ghost, so he proposed to help Helmet with his request. They went to the ordinary building for the Department of Swordsmanship since it was the most recent place the ghost appeared. Since the ghost appeared, it has become empty once the sun goes down. A ghost is not a scary being unless it's the spirit of a malicious being that has been enchanted with black magic, but that won't be the case. Helmet asked them to split up so that they could be more effective. Someone was watching them from afar as Cyan and Helmet started looking for the ghost. Cyan and Helmet haven't been able to find anything. Cyan was looking at something, but he didn't tell Helmet about it. When they were about to go, Cyan saw someone who looked like a ghost walking towards them. Aliyah, not a ghost, had appeared. They informed him about the 3,000 marks request. He asked Helmet why he was making the request when he was loaded. Aliyah also claimed that he was there to fulfill a request he received directly from the academy. He was curious. He decided to do it. Helmet wondered why the academy even submitted a separate request. Cyan proposed to look for the ghost together to save time, and both Aliyah and Helmet agreed. They are now in one of the rooms. Aliyah casts an illusion to explain the situation. According to the reports so far, the buildings at which the ghost has appeared include the lecture hall they're currently located at, the swordsmanship training grounds, the swordsmanship professor lounge, the gymnasium, and the sparring ground. All these buildings have something in common. They're parts of the Department of Swordsmanship. The ghost did not appear at any other magic department building. It could be done by a mage who uses a method of silent spells or just about any human. Helmet said that ghosts cannot be attacked physically. Ethan had told him that a student tried to slash the ghost, but the sword just went through it. Being with the other two makes Helmet think about a time when he shared any opinion as an equal. He used to get scolded by Alaga and yelled at by Darien, and he didn't really discuss anything like that with the Pace Mercenary Corps. It's his first time sharing knowledge with the others, and they will continue to find new answers little by little. Aliyah suggested that maybe the ghost can be attacked using this, so Helmet will try to do that later. Cyan is tired, so he excused himself. Helmet and Aliyah started discussing the same idea they have. It may be related to a spirit. Aliyah said that they already have Cyan as a skilled elemental mage. Cyan, on the other hand, was running fast towards somewhere. Helmet and Aliyah tried to follow Cyan, since they knew that the guy was chasing something. Aliyah knew from the very start. That's why he triggered Cyan by suggesting the usage of this to Helmet. They only need to know Cyan's approximate location. Aliyah chanted the searching spell, and Cyan's footsteps are suddenly visible to their eyes. He's sure that Cyan won't be able to pinpoint the exact location either, so they need to find the spirit before he does. Helmet and Aliyah entered the training grounds of the Department of Swordsmanship, which can't be entered freely. The training grounds are separated into individual grades and levels, and Aliyah predicted that the spirit is using the least used area as its base, because it requires somewhere quiet to hide. Aliyah thinks that it could be hiding near the higher grade students with scholarships, but Helmet was curious about Ethan's personal training ground. They enter Ethan's training ground without permission. Aliyah can sense something similar to Cyan there. Helmet asked him whether he really got the request from the academy. Aliyah actually didn't like that there was only one elemental mage at the academy, so he's going to capture the spirit and research it. Helmet can also naturally fulfill the request. Aliyah uses a silent spell to hide his own trace, and he needs Helmet to bait the spirit. The ghost of the academy came out in the form of a huge purple spirit. Aliyah used a sealing spell to prevent the spirit from leaving the training grounds, but it is still preventing him from moving. Helmet needs to wound the spirit using his venom, but the first attack wasn't enough. Helmet was about to put in more power when Cyan went between them to stop him. Cyan scolded Helmet for carelessly provoking the darkness. He blocked it with the curtain of light, but neither he nor Rattan will be able to hold on for long. The spirit's now upset and out of control. Cyan only noticed that Aliyah was there too. He was shocked that Aliyah would want to experiment with the cute spirit. Aliyah said that he only did that because Cyan refused to do any research with him. But Cyan didn't like that Aliyah only does scary experiments on the spirit. Cyan needs to shut the spirit off, but they can't lose the spirit. So Cyan told Aliyah to maintain the sealing magic. Cyan also told Helmet to stall a bit without attacking the spirit. He agreed, but he doesn't know until when he will be able to last without attacking it. The spirit is fast, but Helmet can still endure the speed. Cyan was doing the ritual while Helmet did the stalling, and the spirit knows Helmet can't attack it. Cyan said that the spirit gets weaker, but it almost breaks the sealing spell. It is wary of them and it fears Cyan's elemental magic. The spirit was about to attack Aliyah after the sealing spell got broken, but Helmet jumped in between them to defend him. Aliyah casts a barrier spell, but the spirit manages to run away. Helmet ran after it and told Cyan to do the casting now. Helmet scared the spirit using the sword, and while it was stunned, Cyan was able to control the spirit into a small ball like Radek. The Mercenary Guild's front desk boy was surprised to see the problematic monster transform into a small, purple flying being. He asked why the spirit was there, and according to Cyan, there could be many reasons. There could have been influences of magic, the forces of the earth could have been distorted for a moment, and there could have been small traces of the forces of darkness. The guild needs to ensure that the monster won't appear again, so Helmet has not been paid yet. Cyan said that Helmet is now their friend too, a relationship of mutual help. Cyan shook hands with Helmet, but Aliyah was already running away from them. Cyan proposed to Aliyah that he should buy them meals, but they have to clean up the training grounds. All Greta Academy students are required to live in the dormitory, and Helmet is assigned to 3rd floor Unit 301. He's prepared to start the term, and the entrance ceremony is tomorrow. Ethan suggested that it's better if Helmet takes a look at where he will be staying. This is Helmet's first encounter with the Academy's crowd. Some are dropping off their belongings. Helmet decided to check his dormitory. Aliyah was talking alone, saying that Helmet was the cause of the strange things that had happened. He's now tired. He swore to never make friends before. He doesn't want to see Helmet again when the term starts. He was not wearing any cloak in the room like he used to, and he looks like a girl. Max and Paul, on the other hand, were full of injuries, and they wanted to force going to the baton. They even used Blackhawk's principle to eliminate anyone getting in the way. Suddenly, someone from Blackhawk attacked them. He confronted them for carelessly using the Blackhawk name. He claimed that the current Blackhawk had tarnished the name despite their long survival. The mysterious man had a question for the Blackhawk, and wondered if he could just ask Paul or Max instead. We really hope that you enjoyed the first part of this manhwa. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.